Today, we'll explore self reflection and self evaluation in professional development, a crucial practice for all helping professionals. Self reflection is more than just thinking about your day, it's a structured process that promotes your self awareness, ethical decision making, and continuous professional growth. That reflective practice improves client centered service delivery and helps professionals align their personal values with effective professional actions. So, during my presentation, we'll cover why reflection is essential, the behaviors and tools associated with self evaluation, and the strategies for integrating reflection into everyday practice. So, this slide covers a few topics I'll be going over very specifically, like the evidence and research based tools, behaviors associated with effective self evaluation, the importance, the balancing, and why you should use these every day. Why self reflection is essential for helping professionals? Well, reflection is the foundational for competent helping practice. First, it enhances your self awareness, which allows you to recognize their own biases, emotions, and your personal values. School in 1991. Second, it promotes ethical decision making. Fook and Gardner, 2007, highlight that by reflecting, professionals can ensure their actions align with both ethical standards and their client needs. Third, self reflection supports your client centered practice. Liminal, 2022, found that reflective practitioners are better able to empathize with their clients and adapt to their interventions to fit diverse perspectives. Finally, the reflection facilitates continuous professional growth, which helps professionals identify their opportunities, strengthen skills, and maintain high standards over time. So, in short, reflection it's not optional. It shouldn't be, and it's really essential for professional effectiveness. So, what does self evaluation look like in practice? Well, research identifies several observable behaviors. There's a few. An intentional reflection, which involves pausing to consider your decisions, your actions, and your emotional responses, which is a process that's gone 1991 called reflection on action. There's structured documentation, such as your journals, process logs, or detailed case notes, which actually helps externalize your thinking and track progress over time. They're seeking and integrating feedback, which you could use your supervisors, colleagues, or your clients to ensure a more accurate self-assessment. There's outcome focused review, which it uses measurable data to evaluate professional effectiveness and allows interventions to be adjusted based on your results rather than assumptions. So, lastly, there's supervisory collaboration. Through reflective supervision or peer discussions, it actually provides a safe place to explore these ethical dilemmas and the skill gaps. And together, these behaviors create a structured approach to self evaluation. So, there's also evidence based tools and practices for self reflection and self evaluation. Now, let's look at tools and practices that support reflection. There's reflective writing and journaling, which convert experiences into insight and critical thinking. There's routine outcome monitoring, or ROM, which uses client feedback to evaluate interventions objectively and guide reflective practice. There's validated reflective questionnaires such as self reflection and insight scale or reflective practice questionnaires, and it provides structured measures of reflective capacity. There's reflective supervision and peer review, which it creates safe places for ethical and emotional exploration. And finally, there's team-based reflection, which promotes shared learning and collaboration. And these tools really turn reflection into a systematic evidence-based process rather than just a passive habit. There's reflective writing and process logs, and reflective writing is one of the simplest yet most effective tools. Guided journals and process logs really help um, professionals analyze experiences, identify patterns, and really connect practice to theory, which Luminol 2022 and Meninol 2009. So prompts such as what happened, what did I feel, what did I learn, what will I change, and guide meaningful reflection. Process logs, often linked to supervision, allows professionals to track emotional reactions, skill development, and decision-making patterns over time. Regular review of these writings with a supervisor strengthens reflection, leading to actionable professional growth. So there's evidence-based tools to support reflection. There's also other tools that include reflective supervision and consultant consultation, which is RS and C. There's reflective journaling, that guided exercises for self-awareness and critical thinking, self-study modules, educational tools for exploring values, ethics, and decisions. There's also feedback mechanisms and its input from supervisors, peers, and clients to strengthen your accountability. Mindful practices, which techniques to enhance your presence, your emotional regulation, and self awareness as well. So, using these tools quite often will ensure that reflection is structured, measurable, and integrated into your everyday practice. Assessments and validated reflective instruments. In additional to practices, there's validated instruments which they measure reflective capacity in your growth. So there's a few examples that include self-reflection and insight scale, the SRIS for awareness and reflection. There's reflective practice questionnaire, the RPQ for attitudes and motivation towards reflection. Mindful attention awareness scale, MAAS for presence and attention. Professional self-care scale, PSCS for evaluating self-care behaviors. Clinical supervision evaluation questionnaire, the CSEQ for supervision quality. And these tools really provide objective data instead, and they complement subjective reflection that ensure your professional growth and to make sure it's measurable and evidence-based. Integrating mindfulness into reflective practice. So the reflection and self-evaluation are actually the most effective when integrated into your daily practice. There's reflective action cycle, which SCOLM 1991. It encourages reflecting before, during, and after your professional actions. There's routine case reviews, embed like reflection structurally into supervision, data informed self evaluation, and it links reflective insight to client outcomes, collaborative learning, and that encourages sharing your insights with your peers. And it also strengthens team knowledge as a whole. There's lastly ethical reflexibility, which it ensures that personal biases and emotions do not compromise client care, which is very vital. By integrating these reflections into everyday practice, you'll be able to enhance competence, ethical awareness, and resilience. Reflection, making your reflection a continuous practice. In conclusion, self reflection and self evaluation are essential for all helping professionals, not just counseling. They enhance self awareness, ethical decision making, and client centered care. SCOLM 1991, Liminal 2022. So the structures behaviors include like the journaling, supervision, and feedback seeking. They turn experience into meaningful professional growth. Liminal 2022. These evidence based tools and validated instruments, they ensure reflection is systematic and measurable. Grant et al. 2002, Wald et al. 2012. When reflection is integrated into daily when reflection is integrated into your daily practices, you'll be able to maintain your high standards, ethical integrity, and ongoing development, ultimately benefiting both themselves and the clients that they serve. So this slide is basically a summary of my presentation. It's really self-centered, which is your self-reflection and your self-evaluation, how it enhances and it supports, and it's very evidence-based, and there's many tools, and that your reflection ensures your growth and development. And these are my references.